Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. We are out here in Richmond still at a Word of God Fellowship. They actually contacted me a while ago, while I was up in New Jersey, and said we're gonna actually be out here. So we're gonna get inside and do an on-site to help them out with some stuff. We're early, so we got here, but then we got to make another run back up to Shiloh right after this. So we're gonna bolt out of here, get charged up, and then head up there to help out with stuff and head on back home because got another meeting at like 7:30. But let's get inside and see what we can do to help them out. All right, folks. So I did a couple of walkthroughs, showing some videos in here. So what we're going to do is a talk through. So again, I mainly do this for me, so I don't forget. So if we turn around here and look at the sanctuary, they have a lot of space in the booth that we're going to utilize here. But if we come forward, the first thing looking at doing is they're happy with the projectors that they got. So the idea is most likely, again, I need to look at the model to make sure that they support 1080p 60 at least, but maybe look at doing marking off both of the places of the wall and then actually putting HD paint to simulate a screen, or maybe a screen, an elite screen or something like that. We put up there and put framing around it so it can don't have to worry about the reflections up there. That's fine. All of the speakers really don't have to really touch as much as anything because everything is fine. They're using the X32. We just got to update the firmware to the latest version that they got. We're also going to look at putting a hardline internet connection back here. And most likely what we'll do is either put a 9U rack down here, use some CASA plugs so that everything can be remotely turned on and off from back here instead of them having to go up and turn everything on and off. They also want to look at doing PTZs. So this is the camera that they're using right now. Most likely, and we got drop ceiling right there, so that should be fairly straightforward. It's probably doing an extended mount right up under this TV, pull it down so it's lower than the confidence monitor, so it'll give all of the control from here. Maybe another one flanking the sides, and definitely probably one in the front so you can get the congregation. 4 PTZs for a multi setup. Then look at getting an A10 Mini Extreme so it can handle all of that, handling the streaming, or it can be done with OBS. Right now, they said they are using everything on the laptop. This is really stressing that out. So maybe repurpose the laptop for presentation software or something like that. But the A10, or build a system that's more than capable that can grow with time for them. Kind of one of a custom system that we build that can do presentation stuff and OBS if need be. But the main thing is to do everything on the ATEM that would give them more flexibility and take the workload off of that. We'll probably split out and do a separate mix, definitely for the live stream. So we got plenty of space here. So that's 3 through 8 is available, 10, 11, 12 is available. So more than enough to maybe assign 11 and 12 as a dedicated live stream mix that can be handled with that. That would clear up a lot of the space. Maybe look at getting them some more mics. And as well, we can either do a wall mount so that the antennas are there, or just have them up under here, under the rack, and just do antenna extensions that we can pop down from the ceiling so that it will be a good signal there. and then maybe split this because they're looking at having 5 zones. So one is audio, cameras, presentation, maybe another one that's looking online, and then I think another 5th position. And then also with that being done, I know they're used to making CDs. We can put a SSD drive on the ATEM that will record video and audio. And then if they still want to make CDs, we can either teach how to do that as MP3s and do it as a podcast, so it can save on the production of everything and it can be streamed on their phone. Or with that system, we'll also be able to rip the audio off of the ATEM's recording. Or not even that, we can actually just put a thumb drive inside of the X32 and record the audio there if it needs to be separate. So we'll record audio from the board, video and audio from the ATEM, so it could easily be put over if CDs need to be made, if it's DVDs, and we still want to do that. We can easily just put some DVD editing software that's going to pull the mix from the ATEM over, make the work a lot easier for them. And I think mainly that's about it. Hey, real quick update that they were just telling me. I was asking about how they sent TVs everywhere, but they're already using the Thor that we've used before. So that's great. That makes it a lot easier for that as well too. I know they are looking at doing some lighting. Again, I'm a novice at that. We're working on that, but the main thing is to get them up to speed with getting their video and stuff. And again, the cameras are so good that it will compensate for a lot of the lighting, but get that in place first, and then we can revisit the lighting if it's not satisfactory. Get the glare off of the wall with the projectors, get a multi-camera that can be controlled with a joystick, get them some more power on their system, update their sound so everything is straight for them, and then I think we'll revisit it from there. But you know what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and go to the computer. Let's go ahead and design everything, and then if we get the contract, I'll bring you along and we put everything together, and hopefully that'll help you with if you're trying to do that with your ministry as well. But let's go ahead, cut over to the computer. Alrighty, folks, finally back here from Word of God Fellowship. Let's go ahead and cut over and let's design this layout. So pretty straightforward, but there are going to be a bunch of things that I would recommend doing in here. And again, this looks a little bit different because I changed monitors and I'm still trying to get my layouts right. But anyway, what we're going to do is they already have a X32. We're going to do an update on that and make sure we can get their separate live stream mix straight for that. Going to go ahead and do an ATEM Mini Extreme, of course. Probably have the dual XLRs going into this feed here. To do that, and looking at putting 4 PTZs in that setup there. 2 on the sides. I mean, you probably could get away with just 3, but we're going to go ahead and just do 4. And again, I'll give them the choice of if they want to change that. All right. And most likely these are going to be fiber optic HDMI cables. Make that easy. And it looks like it should be relatively straightforward with that because the ceilings are not that high and they have drop ceilings everywhere. So that should be fine. Now I was trying to expand this out so I can actually have 4 inputs, plugins here. All right. 2. Come on now. Oh, whatever. I like to try and have them in order, but it just decides to do whatever it wants to do. All right. So got those all connected there. We are going to have those Obviously a joystick to control all of those. We're going to do a PoE switch. That will power all of these. Let's put this up just a little bit more. All right, let's move these up. Now, the other thing is I noticed that they were using Wi-Fi for everything, and that, the pastor was adamant about wanting to have better quality, and just, you gotta move, when you're streaming, you gotta do a hardline connection. Wi-Fi, even though it's good, I do not trust it for stability purposes and all this other stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and run a connection here. We're also going to connect the X32 over the network. I don't recall seeing a network connection there. So we'll wire all of these together so our iPad can control it. And you just get the full range of what that board can actually do. And I don't know why it does this out of connections like that, but whatever. Got that all connected. Now they're still doing CDs, so gonna show about how to make a podcast and get everybody on that. I will simplify that. So we'll add a SanDisk here. That will be connected over the first USB connection there. Pretty much to leverage and get all the workload off of that system, we're gonna go ahead and build a custom system for them as well too. That will be connected, so like for presentation software, to be able to do that. Presentation PC will also have that USB connected to this one. And it's, I think just the size of how they have this with this monitor is not, I'm not that big of a fan of this. So let's go ahead and move that to here. That'll be USB, and then let's move the joystick over here. Whatever. We got it right there. Now they're already using the Thor to split out everything. So thankfully we don't need to do anything extra with that, but we will add another monitor here for our multi-view, so they can see all of everything that's coming from all the cameras and stuff like that. So this will be our multi-view from the ATEM. What else? So this is going, the other HDMI out is already going to the Thor. So that would be for the splitting. Now I am hoping that this is not how the distribution is going to the projectors, because instituting a Thor like that is going to give processing time when it comes to that. So let me actually do this. This is just my assumption because I didn't see it here. So we're going to have, this is just a regular HDMI splitter, maybe a 1x4. And this is what's going to send the signal to the projectors. And then the other output is going to go to the Thor. So everywhere else in the church, it doesn't matter if it's delayed, but we can't have that being delayed inside the sanctuary. So there were two projectors there, and then a television that was for the back display. Now, what I would probably recommend, and this is the Stage TV Confidence Monitor, it can be called whatever you want. Most likely in this setup, I'm going to have this PC to have multiple outputs, maybe 4, but at minimum 3. So you got the one monitor, the other output that's going to the ATEM, and then a third that's going to go to the stage display. so that, I've been doing this recently just for prep. So we have this connected directly to that TV as another input. But for everywhere else, we'll have this come from the splitter, which is coming directly from the ATEM. And this is just as easily can be switched. Say that you only want presentation software to go to the projectors. All we would do is just change this source from the presentation system and then go into the splitter instead. So you have a choice right there. And it feels like my air is not on because I am sweating like crazy and got a fan right in front of me. This is the setup. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is I'm going to introduce a Unify system inside of this as well, too. So what we'll do is this will be a UDM Pro. We'll put this out there somewhere, and this will set them up in the future if they want to do security cameras, any of all the other great stuff there. Then we'll probably introduce and I should actually do the switch, 24 port switch. So we'll introduce this 24 port switch, and we'll run hardline connections to a jack that's there in the media booth as well too. And then we'll actually add some access points throughout the church. So definitely one in the sanctuary for Wi-Fi. That will help with the X32 as well too, if you want to use that. And then maybe one in the fellowship hall, like in the hallway, and then maybe one more. So it'll be AP2, AP3, and it could go to 4. I'll just do 4. I don't think that's needed, but it's better to have it there, especially when I'm doing the estimate, so they won't be surprised if all of a sudden I'm like, oh, we need another one. I'd rather cut it and refund some extra money or say that, hey, the price is lower, than to get it approved and be like, oh, well, we actually need something else. So in this way, everything is going to be hardwired. We got everything set up, and we'll be able to improve the internet and all this other stuff. And then this will ultimately be connected to the PoE switch just here. Now, the other thing we talked about is we're either going to do screens for these projectors because they're just going straight to the wall, or might just do HD paint, that's the non-reflective. Probably do the screens, but I'll probably price it for the screens because the screens are going to be the more expensive option, and then just put framing around that. I've seen that a couple of times. Works very well. It should be straightforward with either direction we go. And, I mean, that's mainly it. In this scenario, the ATEM can do the streaming, or we can introduce, switch it around, let their laptop do the presentation, and the presentation PC will become a streaming PC if need be. But the idea, the pastor really wants some assistance in training. So if my role is also to come in and train, I would probably get them to do everything through the ATEM that will make it a lot simpler for them. And then we don't have to have multiple computers. One computer will be for the presentation, and then the ATEM will just handle whatever. And then the laptop can look for comments when they're streaming, comments that are coming from their live stream that they can address, and also put the ATEM software that can interact with it. So you'll actually have 2 workstations, one for the presentation, one for the laptop, looking like an e-usher, looking for everybody's interactions online. Then you also have somebody's going to be handling the audio. Then you have somebody that's handling the video switching in the ATEM. So that's 4 people. And you can always squeeze another 5th person in there if you want to, who will probably handle the live stream mix audio. But that could also be the person that's on the laptop with some headphones on. But I think that's about it. Really straightforward, really, except for putting in access points if they go with that. Almost everything is going to be located to doing everything inside of the sanctuary. If we do the access points, should be fairly straightforward to get into the drop ceiling, because the building was kind of tall, so I know they have to have some type of access to get up in the ceiling. but it shouldn't have to be that much. So looking forward to that. I'm gonna write this up. Link is down below to everything that we use and stuff like this. And if you ever need any help, we do travel, folks. I actually got to go to Alexandria here Saturday to help out another church as well too, because I didn't set my calendar for holidays. So oh well, we're able to get somebody in there. So but if you ever want any help, you can go to ajhomes.com/consultations. We do phone, we do Zoom, we do on-sites, we do travel. I mean, we do travel anywhere, especially if it's anywhere outside of driving distance. Me personally, if it's more than 4 hours, we're going to set up flights, because I don't want to do that long drive. If I do that, I'm pretty much going to be spending the night somewhere, so I don't have to drive back the same day. But just know we do travel. We help out wherever we possibly can. So don't feel an issue with calling if you or setting up an appointment if you want me to come out there, because we've gone all the way to Ireland, London. We've gone to Puerto Rico. We've gone to almost multiple states. We've gone to the West Coast. Getting ready to head back to Baton Rouge. So anyway, we're out here to help as much as we can, folks. And I think that's about it. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.